Over the years, I've had plenty of vegan chicken. Today, I'm going to be making a vegan chicken that is crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside, and I'm going to smother that with a delicious maple butter glaze. Today, I'm making Nashville Hot Chicken, and I'm going to show you two different ways that you can serve it. I'm going to make it into a simple Nashville Hot Chicken sandwich, and then I'm going to elevate it into a Nashville Hot Chicken Burrito. And when I'm done, you're going to want to make this yourself and enjoy it in the comfort of your own home. So to begin, I'm going to start with the slaw. And I'm going to use a red cabbage and green cabbage. I mean, ultimately, the red cabbage and green cabbage is going to add a little bit of depth between the two different types of cabbage, but it's also going to add color, so it's going to make it a little bit more visually appealing. And so the red cabbage I got is already sliced. I just got it from the local grocery store, sliced up. And the green cabbage I'm going to actually cut up. So when it comes to the cabbage, I'm going to remove the outside leaf because it's just not the quality I want to use. Alright, so this is looking good. I'm going to start with cutting it down. We're going to be discarding this stem. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut this in half, and recommend cut it on the flat end, right? It's just knife safety. Cut it in half. You can go in if you want and just do a quick cut here. Pull the stem out. And now it's real simple. Just cut it into thin slices. Here is your cut cabbage. Now I'm keeping about 1 cup of the green cabbage. And then I'm going to add a cup of the red cabbage as well. Just want to go through and make sure I don't have any big pieces of cabbage. Just kind of mix this together real quick. So that looks good. Okay, so next up, I'm gonna add some pickle juice to a bowl here, and you know, you can really use whatever pickle juice, you have, you know, in your fridge. I'm using a spicy pickle juice, mainly because I'm going to be using spicy pickles in this recipe, but also, like, it's Nashville Hot Chicken, right? We need to have that spiciness coming through. I'm going to go ahead and get some garlic powder. I need some Vegenaise. I really like using Vegenaise in recipes. It's a great option over using mayonnaise. You can make your own mayo or Vegenaise in this case, or you can go to the store and buy some vegan mayo. I think that is a good option. I've used it for several years, and I feel like you can't go wrong with going to the store and buying it. It's pretty simple to make, though. To each their own. I have those measured out. The only other thing that I'm going to add in is some pepper, but I'm going to crack the pepper right into the coleslaw. So let's go ahead and take a look as I mix all these together. So we have our Vegenaise, now our garlic powder, the pickle juice, and let's crack in some pepper. And I'm just going to mix this really well. Find it a little bit trickier mixing in the Vegenaise and everything because the cabbage itself it's long and stringy, so you just got to be patient mixing this up. And you see, that's all we're looking for the slaw. Just a simple slaw. Have some great flavor, but nothing overpowering that's going to take away from the Nashville hot chicken, because that's the main character of this show, right? So we need to elevate that. Now you can absolutely add in a little bit more veggies, add in some more pepper, some pickle juice. If you want to add in some salt, you can do that. Play around with the ingredients and make it to your liking. So the slaw I put aside, that's going to continue to marinate in those flavors. It's going to kind of soak into the actual cabbage itself. Now I have to make the chicken. Now, this is going to be simple. I'm taking a very simple approach to this chicken. It works well. So you can either go back and watch some of my other videos, and you can make your chicken from scratch if you want, or you can just go out and get some of this Gardein strips. Works out well as well. So basically, I'm going to open up the Gardein strips, add it to a bowl, and add a few other ingredients in there just to really kind of infuse those flavors and make a delicious piece of vegan chicken. Okay, so I have the chicken strips. I'm going to infuse it with some more flavor using some Italian seasoning, some garlic powder, and some onion powder. Now I'm just going to go ahead and mix this together. It's going to break down the chicken strips. Now obviously the call out here is that when you buy these chicken strips, they're frozen. So I stick them in the fridge for about 24 hours just to let them thaw out. And as you can see, the reason for that is we need the chicken to be completely thawed so you can remold. So you can remold this chicken. Now, it's not difficult, but I'm kneading this because I want to make sure that I really infuse the garlic and the onion and the Italian seasonings that I added to this. But also because I'm using the strips, I really need to break down the strips to make it more of one mixture, one ball of dough almost. So I'd have my dough ball here, right, my chicken mixture, and I'm just gonna pull off some, and I'm gonna form it into almost a meatball, like so. I'm just gonna shape it into the chicken, like a chicken cutlet, however you go about doing so. Now, I made another video that was a pretty crazy chicken sandwich. You can check that out, and you can go with a big fat piece of chicken like I did in that one, or you can make a little bit smaller chicken like I am in this. Alright, and so this is about what I'm looking for, and I'm going to do that for all the chicken, and I'm going to set them aside, and then we'll move on to our next step. Okay, so when that's all done, you can see here that I have 6 pieces of chicken. They vary a little bit in sizes, but that's okay. I have a butter oil mixture here, and I'm using that butter oil mixture as the beginning of making the glaze. Now, you don't have to go with an oil butter mixture. I'm going with an oil butter mixture because I'm big on infusing flavors and really bringing out the impact of the flavors and the food that we have. So that's why I went with oil and butter. And now I'm going to get the other ingredients together that's going to be added in with that oil and butter to make the glaze. I have some onion powder and some garlic powder, and actually scratch that. This is the onion powder. The last one was the garlic powder. Basically just equal parts of onion and garlic powder. This is a blend of smoked paprika and chili powder, and I'm just going to add some cayenne pepper to the other kind of spicy seasoning here. Some maple syrup. Okay, and let's start bringing this together. We mix this really well. Now I'm going to go ahead and set that aside, and I'm going to bring together the breading for the chicken. That's going to be in two components. There's going to be a buttermilk. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with that because I want the mixtures to really kind of curdle like a buttermilk. And then I'm going to get the dried ingredients together. We're going to bread the chicken, going to cook off the chicken, and then start bringing together two items that we're cooking today. So when it comes to making the buttermilk, I'm just going to add some plant milk. In this case, I'm doing soy milk. Now with the plant milk, I'm adding in some apple cider vinegar. The vinegar is really gonna be what curdles this milk, and we're looking to make it spicy because it's Nashville hot, so we're adding in some sriracha. Now you don't have to add sriracha, you can add a different hot sauce, but sriracha is just my choice. And we're gonna mix them. Now you can look and you can kind of see like the milk is really kind of starting to curdle a little bit. That's okay, you want that to happen. Moving on to the breading, you know, this is where there's a bit more ingredients. Don't get overwhelmed, it's super simple because you're just adding all of these dried ingredients together. You're whisking it up, then voila, your dried mixture is ready to go. So I'm gonna start with some flour. One key is to pour the flour into your measuring device rather than scooping it, because when you scoop it you compact the flour, and you really don't want it to be compact when you pour it because then you get different and improper measurements. Now if you scooped the flour for this recipe, that's not a big deal because you're not baking a cake. Usually you find it more important when you get into more baking. I mean, is it possible that you throw off some of the flavor you know, ratio from the other ingredients going in there? I mean, sure, but realistically, it's not gonna affect it much. Now I'm adding in some cornstarch. Cornstarch and flour mixtures is good for the batter. And now we're just gonna really kind of just quickly add the rest of the stuff in. So we have some cayenne pepper, some onion powder, garlic powder. Now I'm gonna add in more of that blend of smoked paprika and chili powder. This gives it a good depth of kind of almost smokiness. Crack in some pepper and some salt. Basically I'm gonna whisk this up and we're gonna have a seasoned flour. That's what we're looking for because of course when we bread this, you know, this is gonna stick to the buttermilk on the chicken, and we don't want just a flour batter because that's going to be crunchy. That's going to have that great bite flavor, right? But we want to make sure that we're adding in and infusing in the flavors. So that's why we are seasoning the flour. Okay, so you can see I have my station set up here. And so this is a pretty simple process. Really all I'm going to do is take the chicken, I'm gonna put it in the buttermilk mixture. That buttermilk mixture has thickened up a little bit because it's kind of curdled, and that's the point of using the buttermilk. So I'm gonna fully coat it in the buttermilk. I'm gonna then put it back into the buttermilk and then back into the mix again, so that way it gets a double coating. That's gonna make it nice and thick and crispy when we bite into this chicken. I'm gonna let this drip a little bit into our mixture. Let's get it fully covered and coated. Basically, I'm getting it nice and dry. Pick it up, let a little bit drop off. All that excess back in here. If you don't want to get this on your fingers or your hands, just throw on some gloves. I'm not too concerned about this. If you want, you can kind of move the flour over, and basically quick little shake and piece of chicken number one is done. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for the remainder of the chicken. before I start cooking that chicken, I'm gonna keep this really simple for us. The other ingredients that I'm gonna need are, of course, the buns. I'm using a brioche bun. I'm gonna need some wraps. I'm using these delicious jalapeno wraps. And I'm gonna need some pickles. So I'm gonna go ahead and slice up some pickles right now and get that stuff together so that way I can cook the chicken, put it in the glaze, and add it nice, fresh, and hot to those sandwiches. Okay, so the cast iron's getting hot. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more oil so that way we can fry up this chicken. All right, I'm gonna add on the piece of chicken. Okay, so the chicken is all cooked off. Now it is time to add it into the glaze. All right, so Nashville Hot Chicken. I told you that I've tried plenty of chicken in the past before, but I can guarantee you I have not had vegan chicken like this, and neither will you. So let's go ahead and try it out. So I have the Nashville Hot Chicken Burrito. That's absolutely delicious. The chicken, super juicy on the inside, full of flavor. The outside is crunchy with that double batter. The slaw's great. It just adds to the flavor. But like I mentioned earlier, it still leaves the chicken as the main character. Get a little bit of pickle in there in order to add some of that spicy, sweet, sour. It's delicious, absolutely fantastic. Now let's go ahead and try the Nashville Hot Chicken Sandwich. So that's really good. You know, when you have the chicken sandwich, it's different than the burrito because you only get the chicken. You get a little bit of pickle, but this show's all about the chicken. And so it really is good. It's absolutely fantastic. You get some of that heat. You get a bit more heat coming from the chicken sandwich because there's not the slaw to kind of bounce off with some sweetness to, you know, mitigate some of that spiciness. This is absolutely fantastic. You definitely have to try both of these. But you know what? Just have some fun in your kitchen and make some of that Nashville Hot Chicken because that will be the best vegan chicken that you've ever had. Make sure you come back around, check out some more great videos. I just have some more great things coming your way because I'm your friend with food benefits. And I'll see you again real soon.